So here, as we come into the HQ17, you see once again, all of the high gloss veneer that we utilize in all of our HQ models. This high, beautiful wooden veneer that make up our cabinetry, as well as all of the use of our LED lighting to light up our unit really well while saving a lot of that battery energy, because we are again using LED lights. Right off to the right, we see our queen size bed, as well as some great cabinetry. We have a closet to each side of it. We have touch point reading lights, one on each side, as well as a ventilation fan right in the middle, so that way you can kind of get some airflow going through. And then you have some cabinetry above the bed and to the sides of the bed as well. And again, as always, all of our cabinets have that lock touch, so you got to push the center button so that way you can open it up. Okay, so that way it stays locked while you're going down the road off on those off-roading adventures. Now, as we look down lower, as we look underneath the bed, and some people do ask, well, why isn't there more cabinet space underneath the bed? Why isn't there more storage space? Well, because underneath the bed is actual where the kitchen is stored. So you do have some level of storage. So there is one storage cabinet here. Maybe you can put your shoes or maybe some other things if you need to, but that's about how much space you have before you get to the pass-through storage or the storage area where the kitchen would be. And so the next to this is our propane powered heater. This is that 16,000 BTU heater, and that's how you're going to heat up this unit. 16,000 BTUs is designed to heat about 900 square feet, or about the size of a master bedroom. But here you are in this unit, and we're utilizing R16 insulation in the walls, on the floor, in the ceiling. So R16 level insulation coupled with a 16,000 BTU heater, you're going to be sitting very comfortably in the cold weather temperatures. So as we come here more into the HQ17, into our kind of kitchen area, off to the right of the kitchen, we see our TV, 24-inch screen TV with a DVD player. And what we also see, if you can kind of look around the corner, there's a couple little things that are kind of tucked away here. One, up here on this cabinet, you're going to have your thermostat for your heater, that 16,000 BTU propane heater. And if you look lower to the side of the cabinet, there's a different area, and that thermostat, you see a little thermostat control. That is the thermostat control for the silicone heat pad for your water tanks. So that way when you're in the cold weather areas, there's a thermostat controlled heat pad that's gonna warm your tanks, so that way you don't have frozen water tanks. And that's down there, as well as a plug. You saw another plug that was there. So in this kitchen area, we have, you can kind of see, there's this nice cover. All right, so you can use this as a prep area for your food or whatever, even a serving area. But if you open it up, we have a dual combination. We have a 2-burner stove, and we have our sink. So that way we have that nice, easy convenience of having the two together. We have our controls for our burner, and again, our sink. Now, again, we still have this, like I mentioned, we have that 50-gallon and the 16-gallon. This is going to be the spigot for your drinking water. So this one that's in here, that's going to be going off of your 50-gallon general water tank. And then this one here is going off of your 16-gallon drinking water tank. As we come up, we have a vent with a fan with lights up here. So that way when you're doing your cooking, you have a way to vent it out, you have some light. As we come up a little bit higher, we have our microwave. And again, our microwave can be run off of our inverter, as well as our TV. You would want to flip on your inverter, that way you can run your microwave and you can run your TV. And your batteries, so there's going to be 4 of them, 4 AGM batteries, 100 amp hours apiece, or 400 amp hours. They're going to be powering these different appliances for you, as well as your lighting. Now, in order to keep those charged, we still have 2 150-watt solar panels up on the roof. So you have 300 watts of total power charging your batteries. Underneath the dinette seat, we have a 2,000-watt inverter, so that way that's going to be turned on to power your microwave and your TV. Now, here in the ceiling area, we have this large white panel cover thing again. And so again, this is the controller for our roof mounted HD antenna, the high definition antenna for our TV. Now you can see there's no lights, it's not on, because there is a secondary switch that turns it on. And so again, if you come into this cabinet here, you open this up and here's the black box. And so there's a switch, you flip on that switch, we have our green light. When I have that on, we come down here and look, now we have our HD antenna is on. Now the HD antenna, these lights are supposed to indicate whether you have a good signal or a weak signal. And now it does have this little paddle right here with a little squeeze handle. Now again, if I turn it, it doesn't sound good. There is a release button. You squeeze that release button, and as you squeeze the release button, it allows you to turn the antenna so that way you can get the strongest signal possible for your TV viewing pleasure and enjoyment. Now, as we continue looking at the upper area, the ceiling area, we have again this nice matte finish cover, so that way we have a nice strong roof to us. We also have, as part of the roof, we have an aluminum sheet as making up our roof, covering as part of our framing, and then we have everything connected very nicely. We use, again, the puck lights. And as we come along here, we have this large vent. Now, the large vent right now, we have a lot of light coming in. Well, I say, you know what, there's bugs and stuff. Well, there is a bug screen that pulls across and will actually attach to your privacy screen. So you have your privacy screen or you have a bug screen. Now, the thing is too, that is nice about this, is it has the LED lighting, which helps light it up. But there's a switch here. You can turn off the LED lighting if you want, or leave it on. And then you also have the ability to open up this vent. So you pull on this bar, push it up. It is a shock assisted lift. So that way it's nice and easy. So now we have a great way, a nice large area to help get out the warm air that does build up in a trailer. If you're not in it, you don't have your AC on, you get the air out very quickly once you open up some of the screens of these large windows. Now, let's say you want it to be vented just a little bit. You do see a couple little tabbies here, okay? You can see these up in here. And so what you actually do is you bring this down, you bring the bar down, and you put the bar in that area, and this tab pulls across, and this tab pulls across. So now you have this vent locked in a half open area, so you can allow for a little bit of ventilation without having it wide open if you don't want it wide open, and you don't run the risk of it blowing open from the wind or something like that. So back here in the kitchen cabinetry area, we have several different cabinets. Now the top one, it gives you some access to underneath the sink area. You can store a few things under here. The second one is going to be your utensil drawer. Now the utensil drawer also has a soft one. Let me push a little bit harder. A soft close, so you can't slam it. You push it over, it grabs it, pulls it in. And then when you get underneath under here, we do have area underneath here. Now the idea is because of our hoses and all the electronics and stuff, we don't want you to use this area for storing stuff that might possibly cause damage to some of the electronics and the water pumps and stuff like that. And you can see right back in there, that's where your water filter is as well. So you have your triple filtration system. That's your water pumps in there, but that's so that way we can kind of discourage the use of this area and causing possible damage to any of your equipment underneath there. So as we come up, we come over here. If we get to the top half right here, we look, and this is our control center. So this is going to be our area is telling us how much voltage, how much current, how much energy, and how much power is being brought in and being utilized from the solar panels to all the lights being used. We have our water heater switches, so we have electricity, so that's going to be working off of your 30 amp, not your batteries. And then this is the propane switch. So this is going to be between the two. Then you have your water gauges for your drinking water, your general water, your gray and your black tanks. And then you have your two pump switches, as well as all of your breakers, because again, we don't use fuses, we use breakers to help break this all down. So we have our control panel there. Below our control panel is our fridge freezer. So we have a nice full-size fridge, or at least RV fridge, I should say. And then we have our freezer and our fridge. So a lot of nice area we can fit in there. And we can get, you know, it's a substantial amount of food, I should think, to carry along with us. And then we even have another little cabinet way down here. Now in the cabinet here, we have this control valve. Now this is a hot water control valve. So kind of like the hot water heater in your home. We want to make sure that people are protecting themselves. They're not running the water too hot, causing scalds and burns. And then we also have our water pumps under here, so that way we can have the water going in. So as we travel along, we come up, we have our air conditioning. Now, you know, if I stand up straight, yeah, I can, you know, get my head to hit it. But if you notice, I do have room in here. I have a little bit of room above me. The height in here, our internal height, is 6'3". So from the floor to the ceiling, you're looking at 6'3". Here, you're looking at maybe about 6 foot or so, 6'1"-ish for our air conditioner. Now, our air conditioner also doubles as a heat pump. It's the air conditioner and heat pump. And the heat pump is utilized for cold weather mornings. So if you don't want to crank up your propane powered heater and you have power, you're plugged in, or maybe you're running a generator, you can turn on your heat pump. So instead of the cold air blowing in and the hot air blowing out, it's reversed, since you're actually blowing the hot air in and the cold air out. So that way you can kind of take away that morning chill. So that's how our heat pump works, or because it's not a true heater. You're not going to be able to run it for long periods of time like you can with a regular heater. So as we come along, and you notice above my head here is a speaker. We do have 2 speakers here in our unit. We got one here at the back, and we have one up at the front in the queen bed area. So again, we have music throughout our unit as we're going along. So you get into these areas, you get into the back areas, and we have our wet bath. So as I open up this door here and we look inside, we have our wet bath. So we have a nice little sink in the corner there. We have our toilet. So you ask yourself, well, where's my shower faucet? Because you see, there's no shower faucet in there. Well, that's one of our little tricks. We like to use the sink. We like to use the faucet on the sink. So this pulls out. This is your shower head for our faucet. And we have a little rack here. You can hang towels or whatever you need. So we have our sink, we have our toilet, and again, we also have our vent fan up there. Our vent fan with extra little lighting on it. So that way you can, you know, kind of light your way. Even though there's lighting in there already, we have a little extra lighting to help light you up, so that way you can see. And the switch for that, the plug to turn on that light, is this switch out here. This switch is very simple. It's just a push on, push off switch to turn your lights on and off. So here in the back of our HQ17, again, is our bunk beds. So as you come back in here and you look, we have a nice foam pad, memory pad here, and each bunk will have its own DVD player. It's like a DVD and USB, several different functions that you can play with. Each bunk has its own window with privacy screen and bug screen, and each window will open up. And then there's also in the corner over there, you see a little touch light, so that way you have a reading light, as well as the switch for the regular puck light to light up the area. And over here in the other corner, you see a little 12-volt fan, so that way each bunk will have its own little fan for airflow through the area, so that way you don't get stagnant air and you get warm back in the area. So that way the bunks have their kind of own privacy. Each bunk does have a screen that will pull across. They'll have their own privacy there. So that way, you know, again, they have their own little private bunk area as they wish. And then again, there's the lower bunk that's right here. And then at the base down there, you see there's a pull-out drawer, a very nice large pull-out drawer, which is really nice. You can put some clothes in there or whatever you wish to do with it. As we come into our dining area, now I've already kind of moved a few pads here, so we can get to our dining area. And again, I'd like to point out the marine grade like faux leather that we have on our seating with our diamond pattern, which is typical of all of our HQ models. This nice, really unique kind of diamond pattern. I really love this and the stitching and everything to it. But under this dinette seat, if you look down here, we'll flip this up. Like I said, I've already moved the pads. We have our 4 AGM batteries. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 AGM batteries. There's a complete battery cutoff switch. So in the green means all the batteries are on, and in the red means everything is turned off. And you see some breaker switches here. You have a control panel, the towing vehicle, solar control, inverter. So there's other breakers that are all fit into the system. And then you have your battery charger control right here mounted against the wall of the inside of this area as well. So this is also going to be your area. You can also switch into a bed. So this would be a 5th bed. So you'd have 2 in your queen bed, 1 in each of your bunks here. And then this also folds down. There's a little handle right here to find that. You clip this, you push this down, it folds down. And then you take your pads, the pads that are here and here, they set here. And then there's a 3rd pad that was set across this table, creating another bed, a 5th bed. So this is going to be your bedding area for that 5th person if you need it. Now underneath this dinette seat, as we come down here and we look, this is going to be your inverter. This is our 2,000 watt inverter. Now again, and I've mentioned this before, I have another video out about it. You do see an on-off switch on the top there, and so that switch should always be left in the off position, because the switch you're going to be utilizing is going to be the satellite switch. Now the satellite switch is going to be over here on the upper cabinet area. So you have your satellite switch here, which you have your inverter on, inverter off, and you have your power saver auto. Do not use the power saver auto switch. You want to use inverter on and inverter off only. So you would turn it on. Now we would be on inverter power. You'll hear the microwave beep in a second here. So our microwave they're working. Our TV would be working now, but you would want to be utilizing the satellite switch and not the switch on the inverter itself when you're in use. Obviously here right next to this, we also have our Kenwood radio. Now the radio is going to be able to shuffle your speakers between your inside and outside. Usually it's set up off of the fade. Fade forward, fade backward, fade right, fade left. That's where the settings are going to be, so that way you can get your inside speakers to work and then your outside speakers to work. It has to do with your fade and what you have your settings on. So along the top right here, we have our cabinetry along with our locking handles right here. So we have some nice cabinet space right here to store things. Right now we have boxes for our radio and some other cables and stuff, extra things that go along with the unit. So yeah, those are nice to keep everything locked. Below that we have our window. Now again, we have our bug screen, we have our privacy screen, or if it's nighttime, you still want to have your window open, you still have your shade, or your blinds I should say, not a shade, excuse me. You pull this down, that way you have blockage of the sun or the morning light, you know, whatever's coming in. And then on each side, there's a dual plug. Now one plug is like a lighter plug, so a 12 volt DC lighter plug. The other one is a USB plug. So it's got 2 USB ports. Next to this, you see another plug and it says inverter. So in order to make this plug work, you would have to have your inverter in the on position. So that way you can use that plug. And if you go to the other side of the table, we have the exact same setup. We have the 12 volt plug right here, like the lighter plug. And then we have the dual zone for your USB plugs and another USB plug too, or excuse me, inverter plug as well. And then obviously on each side, we have our touch lights for our reading lights, touch and turn them on and off. And if we go just a smidge further here, at our entry area, we have our switches. Now this one large square one, that shuts all of our power off. That shuts everything off. We got no more lights, turns everything back on. These 3 switches here control our internal lights, our puck lights, our LED lighting, all that stuff. And again, these rocker switches, they control our floodlights outside. So if you push it to the front, it could, I don't know which the settings are, that would turn on like the front floodlight. This would turn on the rear floodlight. This would turn on the right side floodlights, the left side floodlights. You hit each one of them again, and it turns them all off. So one of the things I did want to point out was about this windows. And like I said, I've already talked about the bug screen and the privacy screen. So I'm just going to show, to release it, you push for a release and it separates. So you can push down your bug screen. You can push up your privacy screen. And so the locks for these, now this is actually unlocked right now. So there's no button to push. Now the old ones used to have a button you had to push to release. The new ones do not do that. You very simply just twist it and it will pop open. Now the windows do ratchet. They do have different levels that they go up, okay? And then they will come closed. Now again, there's 2 different settings. If you can kind of see here in the track, you see 2 different teeth. So if you pull it closed all the way, you see the tab closes on the back side, and that's how you have a tight closed seal. Now, you can also, if you say, well, I just want a little bit of airflow, if you close it right in the middle of the two teeth, now there's just a slight gap. So that way you're not completely sealed. You have a little bit of airflow through. Maybe it's a chilly night out, but it's warm inside because the heater, let's just get a little bit of cool air. But that's going to be your way to open and close and lock your windows.
How you doing, everybody? This is Jim Bunk with Black Series Campers of Southern California out of the City of Industry. And we hope that you enjoyed the last video of a series that we just got finished watching. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to ask to make sure that you please like and subscribe to our channel so that way you can see all of the videos that are coming up in our series. So make sure that you get out there, you smash that bell up in that corner up there. And again, this is Jim Bunk with Black Series Camper, saying we hope you enjoyed that video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.